Thanks to you four, we're able to open the Grand Market for business today, a bit quicker than I expected. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am. Oh, there's no need for that. We barely did anything. I'm just glad no one got hurt. All the more reason to thank you. A merchant stole his livelihood. Any action taken against it can throw him into blind rage, and it's hard to bring someone back from that. It seems the problems facing the merchants of this town are quite grave indeed. The provincial army may have intervened, but it's difficult to believe they'd make no attempts to find an amicable solution. Quite right. It's clearer than ever now that they have no intention of trying to resolve any issues involving the market. I can't see that changing unless we decide to just accept the sales tax increase and keep quiet about it. Still, you'd think they'd at least be a little more subtle about the whole thing. There's no way those two merchants are just going to accept this and move on. No, I don't suppose they will. And if word gets out about this, it's not inconceivable for certain groups of people to begin boycotting the marketplace. Something definitely has to be done. I'm just not sure what. Is something wrong, Rean? You're awfully quiet. Are you feeling unwell? Sir, I have a favour to ask. Would you consider allowing us to investigate this morning's incident? What? Are you suggesting we attempt to find the perpetrator who destroyed the merchant stalls ourselves? It's a kind offer, but as I said yesterday, this is our affair, not yours. You're students, you have your own studies to worry about, and I wouldn't feel right interfering with them. We're students training for the military, though. We can't just stand by and allow something so unjust to go unchallenged. It's the provincial army's responsibility to address this. Sure, but they're shirking their duties here, and that reflects poorly on us all. Well, that's true enough, I guess. But do you really think we're up for something like this? I kind of have to wonder about that too. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just amateurs. We should at least check with Instructor Sarah first and see what she thinks. She's already told us. Put your heads together and think, and I'm sure you'll see what you need to do. Her words. This seems like exactly the sort of thing she meant. At least it does to me. Oh. I see your point. Perhaps matters such as this may fall under the scope of our field study after all. Yeah, you do make a good case. I'm still not sure we're up to it, but I guess it can't hurt to try. Neither seek nor shun the fight. Very well, we shall do what we can. Are you really sure about this? I'm certainly not going to say no. I'm very concerned about the market and the safety of our merchants. So if you're 100% sure, I have to admit I truly would appreciate anything you can do for us. Thank you, sir. We'll do everything in our power to find answers for you. Just be careful. Don't go seeking out trouble. I don't want you kids being put in danger. We're dealing with a criminal acts under the cover of night. He may be capable of a lot more than just thievery and vandalism. Remember, I'm responsible for your safety. If anything were to happen to you, I couldn't even look Van Dyke in the eye anymore. We'll be careful, I promise. Wrong person. I know I will, at least. I probably need to be more careful than anyone else here. Now that's settled, we should act quickly. Yeah, let's get this investigation started. So, first things first, we need to decide where to start investigating. Logical starting point would be the Grand Market itself, the scene of the crime. Can't argue with that. We should probably get statements from the two merchants before anything else. Indeed. I anticipate they've calmed themselves by now, so perhaps we can get something a bit more substantial from them. We still have to ascertain their innocence or guilt in the matter as well. We'll need to keep a close eye on them on the time, though. If we miss the last train towards Heimdall, we'll have no way of getting back to the academy today. Plus we've been given the other tasks too, and I'd really like to get them done. In short, we need to keep moving. Our deadline is 9 PM. Let's use every minute we have to accomplish everything we possibly can. Understood? You bet. Right. Yeah, there's no deadline, it's just literally get to the point you get stuff done. So, let's go sort out this side quest over here first. I actually need to look up something. Cybers. Doesn't look like there's actually... Yeah, doesn't look like there's anything, really anything you missed today. No, wait, there is. Go in a chapel and speak to the girl. Okay. So, first off, there's a chapel over here. if you talk to the girl, her, she... That's supposed to be a secret though, isn't it? This chapel, right? It's supposed to be a girl sitting on a bench near here. Is this actually a place? Wait, I'm in the wrong place entirely. Okay, we can. There's a few things sorted out in Kellic first, but the big thing is West Highway. Well, we need to sort this out, but we're going to leave town anyway, so. There's also. We'll talk to you in a bit. It's still trashed! Are you calling this fixed? As to think, I was ecstatic to finally participate in the famous Celtic Market. Grandic Market? Sigh. Whatever did I ever do to deserve this? Excuse me. You! I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see me acting like that. I hope you can forgive me for my inappropriate behaviour. He seems really down. It's quite understandable. He's a merchant in a busy market, unable to do business. So what brings you here? You need something from me? Well, actually, Rean explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what had happened the previous night. You're investigating? That's right, and we'd really appreciate it if you could answer a few questions for us. You may be able to help us find the true culprit. I suppose it can't hurt. It's better than doing nothing, at least. You don't have to sound so pessimistic. Well, can you blame me? You're students at a military academy. You're not exactly ace detectives. That is true. But we're still determined to find out who did this. We may even be able to recover your goods. Cooperating with us could prove quite fruitful. Okay, fine. I never said I wouldn't help you, did I? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say, though. It's not like I saw anything worth mentioning. Didn't? As soon as I made sure my store was ready to open next morning, I left everything set up and went home. The other merchants around here can vouch for that. Guess I shouldn't have left the stall unattended, though. By the time I got in, it was too late. The deed had been done. So I'm mourning a store that already been destroyed and your goods stolen. Come to think of it, what goods were stolen exactly? Oh, I have a sample with me, actually. An accessory? Is that a brand that's popular in the capital? Been a real hit lately, yeah. I was hoping to bring the fad here by selling them in the market. This is the only one I have left now. I dread to think just how much money I lost in a single night. A damned coward sabotaging my business. It's much too early to be jumping to conclusions. Do you have any evidence that proves his culpability? No, but he's clearly a prime suspect. He was so against the idea of taking turns sharing the spot with me, he decided he'd destroy my stall altogether. I just know it. I'm going to get him to give me my goods back no matter what it takes. But please try to stay calm. Do you know that if you cause any more trouble, the Provincial Army really will arrest you, right? Yeah, I know. But it's a matter of justice. I can't just act like nothing ever happened. It's wrong, on general principle. I'm begging you, please, get my goods back, whatever it takes. I can't promise success, but I swear to you we'll do everything we can. That much I can promise. I think that's everything this merchant knows. Where's the other one? The other one is over here. No, he's not. There he is. Yes, he is. He's over here. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but could we have a moment of your time? You're those kids in that military academy, right? What do you want from me? I've got nothing to sell you, obviously. Even if they did have something to sell, I've got no place to sell it. I'm basically ruined. To top it all off, the Provincial Army and a damned other damn merchant acting like I'm the one who did it. He's not taking us very well, is he? I want to blame him. We need to see if he knows anything that might help us. Well, you see, Rean explained that his classmates to investigate lava. You're investigating this mess, huh? Okay. So would you consider cooperating with us? Sure, why not? Not getting my hopes up, as I'm sure you can understand, but hell, I've got nothing left to lose. No, he's only a vote of confidence. Hey, he's willing to cooperate. I say we cut him some slack and hear him out. So about last night, at the time the incident actually happened. Last night, huh? I don't know how much help I can be if that's what you're asking about here. See, I left the market right after arguing about merchant yesterday, and I didn't come back till this morning. I stayed over at a friend's place, another merchant. Just got pissed drunk and rang at him all night. You're certain of this? Positive. Ask my friend if you don't believe me, he'll back me up. I wandered over here with an awful hangover this morning, and what I found gave me a hell of a start. My whole stall in shambles. And if that weren't bad enough, all the processed foods I was going to sell were just gone, without a trace. So the goods were stolen. Goods were stolen were processed foods. That's right. Nuts, cheese, bacon, all foods that have a long shelf life, made of local ingredients. Seeing all my stuff gone really sewed me up. It was like I hadn't even been drinking at all. And that's when I went over to that fool stall to make him pay for it. Why did you go straight to him? Because he was the one who did it, of course. He smashed my stall so he could have that spot all to himself. But that doesn't make any sense. If Heinz did it, then why was his stall destroyed as well? He must have done that to himself. Probably figured if he destroyed his own stall, no one would believe he could be responsible. I don't know. That seems pretty unlikely. It's a bit excessive. While I understand your frustrations, baseless accusations do no one any favours and can cloud the true issue. But it's so frustrating. I've lost so much money because of this. I have to shut up shop for good. But that is bad. If I could at least get my goods back, maybe I could salvage enough to stay afloat. But what are the odds of that? None of the other merchants saw anybody do anything, and the provincial army sure ain't about to help. I'm finished. Pure and simple. All the hard work I've put into getting this far, and this is how the dream ends for me. Well, I'll be honest, I'm not sure how much we'll actually be able to do for you. We'll do everything in our power to help you find some form of closure. So cheer up, okay? I do appreciate that. But again, I ain't about to get my hopes up. Good luck, though. That's all the two victims of this crime had to say, it seems. What does everybody think? I can't be sure, but I really don't think either of them is responsible. Both merchants have adequate motive to damage the stall, but the chance of both committing the same crime on the same night without crossing paths is virtually nil. It's not impossible that they were just out to steal each other's merchandise. I don't believe that's what happened. Both of them have alibis confirming that they were somewhere else when the crime took place. I'm inclined to agree. I just can't see either of these merchants being responsible for what happened. So we're going to have to look elsewhere for viable suspects. Where though? I mean, who could it possibly have been? It's impossible to say right now. We don't have any solid leads. We know who the culprit wasn't, but how are we supposed to start narrowing it down who it was? The market itself seems unlikely to produce any further clues, so we should focus our attention elsewhere. Actually, there is one thing that's been bugging me. There's one group of people involved in this whole situation whose actions don't seem to make any sense. Maybe if we can work out the reasoning behind their strange behaviour, we can come one step closer to finding out our culprit. Whom do you mean? I'm talking about... Nope. It doesn't make sense that they come in... Okay, go for the logic. Merchant manager and his wife, they're just trying to keep peace in the market and try and sort things out. They were actually going to help the merchants in the market. If they both did it, no, they couldn't meet each other. If one did it, why did he smash his own? The provincial army came in and without even starting an investigation, shut this entire matter down, sweeping it under the rug. It's the one that doesn't make sense. Provincial army. They haven't done a thing to try and solve this crime despite it happening right under their noses. And that begs the question, why not? The market manager said they're refusing to fulfill their role due to the tax issue. This means the provincial army should refuse to intervene in the quarrels within the market as well. If that's the case, then why did they come and intervene this morning? Now that you mention it, that really doesn't make any sense. Their methods were atrocious, but the fact is, they brought that dispute to an end almost instantly. They did get involved. Yeah. One minute they're refusing to do anything, and the next they're taking a stand. It's definitely suspicious. My point exactly. There's definitely something unnatural about the way they're conducting themselves. And since we have no other leads, what do you say we go to the army's guardhouse and take a look around? Might be able to learn something from them that could aid us in our investigation. That may be worth an attempt. The guardhouse isn't too far from here either. Let's head on over to see what we can find out. AP! AP! That's why you ought to say that one. It's kind of annoying. At the same time, it makes sense, so, you know. Hey, hello, soldier. Aren't you those students from the military academy? Was it? What are you doing here? We're terribly sorry to trouble you, but we're hoping you might be able to help us with something. Could we ask you a few questions about the incident that occurred at the Grand Market this morning? What? What does that have to do with you? We're visiting this town on a field study as students of the War's Military Academy, and we would very much appreciate a chance to see how experienced soldiers such as yourselves handle difficult everyday situations. This seems like a perfect opportunity for an anecdotal case study, and could prove most invaluable to our education, if you permit it. Alright, stay here, I'll see what I can do. That was a clever lie, give it that. Looks like we might be able to hear what they have to say for themselves after all. Nicely done, Laura. In times like these, we need to make good use of our positions. No one can fault a student for wanting to learn, after all. But now comes the hard part. This makes me nervous. Well, let's just wait and see what we can get out of them. Remember, it's not always what they say that's important, but how they say it. And even more importantly, what they don't say. Right. I hope you appreciate us taking time out of our busy schedules for this. So what do you want? And make it quick. I'm a busy man, you know. He's not even trying to keep up appearances. Unbelievable. I'll be brief then. We came to discuss the incident at the market this morning. Would you be correct in assuming that the Provincial Army will be conducting no further investigation? Is that all you came here to ask? Is that all? Should the armed forces charged with maintaining peace in this region not be taking this matter more seriously? But Laura, I'm not sure. You've got a big mouth for someone your age. It seems you have a lot to learn about how military units actually work. What do you mean? Let me ask you this. What should the number one priority of the Provincial Army be in order to maintain the status quo? I'll tell you. Their number one priority should be to enforce the will of their region's ruling lord, Duke Alberea. As members of the Provincial Army, the will of the nobility is absolute. We're just following our orders, protecting what we have a duty to protect. I assume you're referring to the local petition against the sales tax increase. So saying as long as the petition isn't withdrawn, the Grand Market isn't something you have a duty to protect? Interpret my words however you want. We're soldiers, we follow our orders, that's how the military works. We don't need some fresh military academy inductees telling us how to do our job. This is nuts. Does he even have a tiny shame? I was hoping to be able to get something out of him, but it sure doesn't seem too likely to anymore. So is that it then? I hope this has been enlightening. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a job to do. But wait, would you mind answering just one more question? Elliot. Fine, ask it. Well, do you have any idea what might have happened to the goods Marco was handling? You know, the accessory merchant. All he had left was that one sample. What are you talking about? The merchant from the capital Hines was the one who was planning on selling accessories. What? Why did you just say? But what are you all looking at me like that for? How did you know that? I was under the impression you hadn't investigated the matter at all. How peculiar. We only discovered what each of the merchants was intending to sell a short while ago ourselves. Sir, we have our own way of finding it. We have our own ways of finding these things out. You do well not to underestimate us. Now, we've wasted enough time answering your questions. We're leaving. Get my shoes! Do you think... The fact that they know what each of the merchants was selling means they did investigate the matter after all. But the burglary happened last night, and it was only first discovered this morning. Realistically, I don't think there was any opportunity during that time for them to do any digging, not without running into us. Agreed. I suspect they knew what each merchant was planning to sell well in advance of yesterday's incident. Though that would be easy information for them to learn, since Duke Alberea must have issued permits for both stalls. That's true, and the army would have no trouble getting access to transaction records or something like that. But why would they bother? Maybe they need to know. Maybe they needed to know so they could prepare. Prepare for what? I get the impression that the incident at the market has been carefully planned out for a while now. I don't think those two merchants being given permits for the same spot was a coincidence either. It was probably done to get them to start fighting so they could get robbed while there was tension up between them. Basically, to create a situation that couldn't be brought under control without the army's help. So the two merchants have been used that all along. That seems to fit perfectly with what happened this morning. Meanwhile, the provincial army has shown no interest in actively working towards a solution, unless the market manager chooses to withdraw his petition. So they wait for things to get out of hand, then show them to force both parties into an uncomfortable truce. Eventually, the merchants get worn down enough that they feel like they have no choice but to withdraw the petition. This is turning out to be an even shadier situation than I thought. Yeah, but thanks to Elliot, I do believe we've finally uncovered the truth of the matter. That was indeed some very quick thinking you displayed, Elliot. You'd make a fine military strategist. I just got lucky, that's all. So what we know is, the provincial army is somehow involved with the actual perpetrators of the crime. The only way to solve it once and for all, though, seems to be, well, to find them and catch them. But if this was carried out by members of the provincial army, that's not going to be an easy task. No, I don't think anyone from the army was directly involved. The soldiers here are far too proud to dirty their hands with such escapades. I tend to agree, really. Whoever the culprits are, I doubt they're still here in Keldic. There just aren't many viable places to hide such a huge volume of goods without them being found. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they escaped by train? No, that can't be. Boarding a train with that much merchandise would raise suspicion for sure. It's been less than a day since the burglary happened, so they can't have gotten far. Maybe we should ask around the main road and see if anyone saw anything out of the ordinary. Someone suspicious may have been spotted leaving or even entering the town. That sounds like a wise course of action. Come, let's resume our search. We mustn't let this cowardly thief run free. I wouldn't dream of it.